For today, lesson 7 is going to be on subtracting linear expressions. Okay, so your objective is going to be able to subtract linear expressions when you're given those at the end of this lesson. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump to page 404 to start off with. Basically, okay, this whole lesson is going to be focusing on the subtraction of them. If you think back to lesson 6, our focus was on the addition of them. Today we're going to be focusing on the subtraction of them. I am going to caution you that when we are working with the subtraction of linear expressions, please, number one, make sure you are taking your time. And number two, make sure that you are very careful of where your subtraction signs are and hence meaning the negatives. Okay, a lot of times what happens is we get rushing through them and we don't pay attention to where the subtraction signs are, thus resulting in negative numbers, and we make simple mistakes because of that. So again, when we're subtracting, the biggest thing is we're going to be focusing on like terms. Okay, we're not going to be able to subtract things unless they are like. Okay, variables are going to have to continue to be the same. If you're working with constants, they're going to have to be constants instead of, we're not going to be able to combine 2x minus 5, for example. Okay, first one that they give you, again, you're going to notice in between here we're focusing on the subtraction of them. You're still going to see probably addition signs within them, but you're actually taking this linear expression minus this linear expression. Okay, your book starts off giving you examples in terms of using the model. So what they've done is they've taken 6 x's and 3 1's, and then we're going to take out, okay, or take away 2 x's and 2 1's. So technically we would take out 2 x's, okay, and we would take out 2 1's. So you can see below that they've taken the red X and they've marked out what they would take. So then you're looking at, well, what is left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's left, and I have one whole number left, so my result is going to be 4x plus 1. Okay. Example 2 is another one where they're giving you the models. If you do need to draw the models with these to help you at first, please feel free to do that. Okay, feel free to do that. Ultimately, though, we want to get you so you can go ahead and subtract them without having to draw models all the time. Here I have 2x minus 3, so I've got 2 x's, 3 negatives, and I'm taking away x minus 2. So you can see down here, they're taking out 1x, and they're taking out 2 negatives. So when I look at what I have left, I've got 1x, okay, and then I have 1 negative left. So technically, after I subtract those 2 linear expressions, my result is going to be an x minus 1, okay? Now, both of those have been examples where you have used models. Let's talk about situations or what you can do if you don't have models or don't want to choose to draw models out each time. What I would really strongly encourage you to do or recommend that you do is when you are subtracting linear expressions, where your subtraction sign is here, put the whole number 1 in there. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because when you put that whole number 1 in there, okay, now it becomes a negative 1 because of the subtraction sign. This will help you remember to multiply this negative times each term. Okay, it's just a little piece of advice that I would recommend doing to help you as you go through this. Okay, so again, first step that we're going to do is we're going to write out what we have. So we have 5x minus 9, and then I need to think, okay, negative 1 times this term and negative 1 times that term. So the distributive property is coming into play. Negative 1 times 2x would be the same as negative 2x, and then I'm thinking negative 1 times negative 7, which would give me actually a positive 7. People make their mistake because they forget about this and they forget this is a negative, so they leave this as a negative and then it results in an error. Okay, so now you can combine your like terms. I have 5 x's minus 2 x's, so that's going to give me 3 x's. Then I have 9 negatives plus 7. So negative 9 plus 7, again, they're both different, so we're actually subtracting. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 has a larger absolute value and it's negative, so it would be 3x minus 2. Okay, let's take a look at letter B. Again, right away, drawing that 1, so it ends up being a negative 1. If you need to underline the negative 1, please do that to help you. Okay, same thing if you need to draw your arrows to make it easier to remember what you're multiplying, please feel free to do that. I have 6x minus 10. Okay, and then I'm taking negative 1 times 2x, which would be a negative 2x. A negative 1 times negative 8 would be a positive 8. Okay, so now I need to simplify this or put this in simplest form. I can combine my x's, so I'm thinking 6x's minus 2x's would give me 4x. And then I have 10 negatives plus 8. Again, one's positive, one's negative, so we're subtracting. 10 minus 8 is 2. This one has a larger absolute value, and it's negative, so we have 4x minus 2. Okay? Next page, we're going to do the same thing in terms of continuing to work through. Again, they give you models. We're going to practice these on our own without models. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw my 1 in there, and I'm going to underline that. I'm going to do the same thing over here to help me remember. Okay, here I have 3x minus 2. Now I'm thinking negative 1 times 5x, so that'd be negative 5x. And then I'm thinking negative 1 times negative 4, so that's going to be a positive 4. Looking at what I have for like terms, I'm thinking 3x's minus 5x's. Well, 3 minus 5 would be negative 2x. And then I have negative 2 plus 4, so that's going to be a plus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Positive 4 has a larger absolute value, so it's going to be a positive 2. Looking at got it problem letter D, 4x minus 4. And then I'm thinking negative 1 times negative 2 would be a positive 2x. And then I'm thinking negative 1 times 2 would be a negative 2. I'm going to combine my like terms, so 4 plus 2 would give me 6x's. Then I'm looking at negative 4 and negative 2. They're both negative, so I'm going to add. 4 plus 2 is 6, and they're negative, so I have minus 6. Okay, so there's a couple other examples that you have to show you how to work with the subtraction of linear expressions. A couple other examples they give you here without models. Okay, what I would like you to do right now is to go ahead and pause the video and try completing E and F on your own. As you've completed got it problems E and F, okay, hopefully you were able to come up with the same answers that I have. Again, I went ahead and plugged in the 1 there to help me remember that that's going to be a negative. I went ahead and drew an arrow here to kind of help me as well. So 4x minus 3 minus 2x minus 7, I ended up with 2x minus 10. Over here, 5x minus 4 minus 2x minus 3. So 5 minus 2 is 3x, both negatives, minus 7. Let's go ahead and take some time right now to take a look at some sample problems that we have on a worksheet. Again, I'll do the first couple together, or we'll do them together, and then you can also take a look at some of these other ones and practice them on your own. Okay, first and foremost, if I go ahead and take a look at number 1, I've gone ahead and plugged in the number 1 there to help me remember. So I'm going to rewrite it as 9x plus 7. Negative 1 times x would be negative x. Negative 1 times 3 would be negative 3. Now I can combine 9x's and negative 1. 9 minus 1 would be 8x. And then I have positive 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So when I work through that one, in terms of subtracting linear expressions, I should come up with 8x plus 4. Looking at number 2, again, I'm going to plug my number 1 or my 1 there. So I have 3x minus 4. I'm thinking negative 1 times x would be negative x. Then I'm thinking negative 1 times negative 5. That'd be a positive 5. I can combine my x's. So 3 minus 1 would be 2. So I have 2x And then I'm thinking -4 plus 5, -4 plus 5, or 5 minus 4 would be +1. So looking at number 2, okay, as we are subtracting linear expressions and putting that in simplest form, I would come up with 2x plus 1. What I would encourage you to do right now is to go ahead and take a look at some of these other problems here, 3, 5, 7, or 4, 6, and 8. And I would encourage you to work with those or work on those either on another piece of paper or on the side of your book. Take some time, go ahead, pause the video so you can see what they are, work through them, and then also have them checked by a teacher. The last thing that I want to take note of is on 406. Okay, again at the top, just kind of briefly looking at this really quick here, just looking at your situation where you are add or subtracting your linear expressions and putting it into a real life situation here. So it says a hat store tracks the sale of college and professional team hats for M months. Variable is going to be M that you're using, so take note of that. The number of college hats sold is represented by 6M plus 3. The number of professional hats is represented by 5M minus 2. Write an expression to show how many more college hats. Here's your keyword, words, how many more. Okay, that means you're looking at the difference between them. Were sold in professional hats. Then we're going to evaluate it if M equals 10. So technically we're taking 6M plus 3 minus 5M minus 2. So you can see they have that set up there. Okay, then again thinking what's happening here. So 6 minus 5 would give you 1. 3 plus 2 gives you 5. So your expression would be M plus 5. Then they would like us to solve it if M equals 10. So I'm going to plug in 10 for M. 10 plus 5 would give me 15. So as I'm working through it, my answer would be 15 more college team hats would be sold. So right now what I would like you to do is to go ahead and work on some of your practice problems. So you can go ahead and take a look at your website for this lesson. Extra practice problems are going to start on page 409. Please remember to take your time on this lesson. It is difficult. It can be tricky, so take your time as you work through it. Please don't be afraid to ask for help, and the more practice we can do with this, the better we will be.